Hello, everybody, and welcome to this thrilling edition of Round 6. In the immortal words of Stringer Bell, let everybody know we back up. Round 6 is back. There is only one fight to talk about. If you're in a barbershop, you ever heard this conversation? Who y'all think would win if Canelo Alvarez fought Terence Crawford? Well, guess what? September the 13th, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, we're going to find out. Super Showdown. This is a super fight. Two guys pound for pound, two guys dominant, two guys at the top of boxing. They've been like for what? A decade? A decade, at least, for both guys. So it's a matchup that we've all talked about. It's finally going to happen. Bud's going to move up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo at 168. So let me start this by asking my esteemed guest this question. And I'll start with you, Charles. Are you excited? Does this do anything for you as a fight fan?
It's good, but it's not as good as somebody taking a real risk. And to me, going up those weights, you know what I mean? They got weight classes for a reason. So it's a dangerous fight for Bud.
You know what? You're the first person I've heard say that. The word dangerous fight. I'll ask you, Digital, do you think it's dangerous for Bud to go up 2?
Embrace the challenge, but it doesn't mean it's not dangerous. And it is dangerous, I think. Canelo's still Canelo. I mean, bottom line of that. He is still Canelo. He's still got that punch there. And I don't know if I know that Crawford's not faced anybody with the punching power of Canelo Alvarez. And going up 2 weight makes it very, very difficult. Could be very, very difficult.
Left jab, does this move the needle for you as a fight fan? Is this something that you were dying to see, Canelo versus Bud? I mean, how do you feel about it? Just the fact that it's going to happen.
Tip my hat to Bud for even even thinking about it, then alone doing it and signing the contract to actually make it happen. I think that there will be a technical aspect to this fight that's going to be really, it's going to be really high level boxing between these two guys, between these two combatants. But I also agree with what Digital and 3C said about the danger factor especially for Bud, because Digital was right. He hasn't been in with somebody with the kind of power that Canelo has, nor the kind of beard that he has either, because Canelo can take a good shot as well.
You know, these aren't spring chickens either.
Right.
Okay.
True.
So Canelo's 35, and this will be Canelo's 68th fight. He's been in the game for a long time, y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
Very long time. You know?
And Bud's older than, isn't he?
Bud is 37.
Yep.
But Bud doesn't have the ring experience in number of fights that Canelo has.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Canelo has roughly 472 professional rounds. Bud has less than half that many. Less than half that many. Okay. To your point, I think that there's definitely an experience advantage that leans heavily towards Canelo coming into this matchup.
So Canelo isn't the same fighter, not saying he's not dangerous and stuff, but I think that gives Bud a particular advantage because he's not facing the Canelo of, the Canelo that beat Billy Joe Saunders, the Canelo that beat Caleb Plant, the Canelo, that's not the same Canelo. Go ahead, Digital, what you going to say?
I guess the thing that Crawford, the way he fights, can give him the angles that Alvarez saw early on against Bivol. So that could be an interesting situation as well.
The blueprint's out there, though.
Yes.
The blueprint's out there. He just needs to watch the Floyd fight.
The Floyd fight? Interesting. I would say, wow, that's interesting. I was going to say watch the Bivol fight.
But Bivol is big. But
True.
Floyd was small. And Floyd knew he couldn't stay in there. So what he did was he used his speed, he controlled the distance, and had Canelo coming to him the whole fight, which made it easier for him to land his shots. And I don't think that Floyd has the kind of power that Terence has, you know.
If somebody's coming up 2 weight classes, y'all, wouldn't it be in Canelo's best interest like to press Bud?
No question.
Just to
Yeah, definitely.
see if he's got the legs, just to see if he's got the wind, just to see if he can land a body shot or hit him on his arms, or just kind of tapping, tapping, and see if Bud is going to have the cardiovascular or just the internal kind of drive to deal with that.
I think one of the things that people forget, they think of the weight just as terms of power and how much more your punches are going to affect the other guy. But it's a lot more than just the power, because usually those guys had that rate advantage, they'll have a reach advantage too. And if they fight on the inside, they're going to be leaning on you. So it's going to zap your energy a lot faster than when you're fighting a guy your size. Those inside fights, and Bud, he don't really like to fight inside to me. So he likes to sit on the outside and pot shot and use his boxing skills. But I'm just wondering how he's going to take it when he gets clinched and he has all that weight on him for an entire fight at that level.
I'm going to go to each of you. Tell me who's going to win the fight and why. And I will start with you, Left Jab Lamont.
Well, I'll lead off by saying this. I think that the fight is going to be determined to a large extent or a large degree on how Bud handles and or responds to the first big shot that Canelo touches him with. There's no question about that. I think that the reach advantage that Bud will have will be 3.5 to 4 inch reach advantage. I think he's going to be a southpaw as well, and I think there will be an advantage that he will have in terms of quickness. Okay, and I think that that may be enough based on where Canelo is to maybe eke out a decision, a close one, but a decision nonetheless. So as much as I like Canelo and much as I respect Bud and all that, I think I'm not yet ready to bet against Bud yet. So I'll say that Bud will eke out a close, maybe even a split decision, but I expect Bud to be on top.
Okay, so 1 for Terence Bud Crawford. Gary Digital Williams, who's going to win this fight?
I gotta say, I had it exactly the same way Lamont had it. I really do believe that Bud will do enough to win this bout based on his quickness, based on his ability to get in to reach and keep Canelo at bay. I really do believe Bud will win. I was going to say a majority decision over Canelo.
A majority decision. Very interesting. All right, Charles, your first prediction on round 6. Who's going to win, Bud or Canelo?
I'm going with Bud. But my thing is, I've seen him get disinterested in fights. I've seen him not really fight the whole fight. And I think that if that Bud shows up, it's going to be a long night. But I think because of the publicity and understanding history and what this fight will mean, if he goes up and wins, I think that he's going to be on top of his game the whole fight. And I think that because of his speed and quickness, it's going to give Canelo trouble. The question is, he can't get lackadaisical or he can't get complacent in the ring, because with that size advantage, he's not used to getting hit by guys that big. And sparring partners is one thing, and world champions is something else. So, you can erase. Canelo still got that eraser, I think. You know what I mean? You could be winning a couple of rounds, and then you look at the scorecards, and they're even. So, Bud is going to have to not be in there disinterested like I've seen him in some of his fights. I think he's going to have to really go in there knowing what it is in history and what it's going to do to his place in boxing to be on top of his game.
And I do take pause as well with the fact that Bud moved up to 54 and really had a tough time. He figured him out, but he was pressed in that fight. He was really pressed in that fight. And I'm just thinking like, man, he gonna fight Canelo at 68? Oh, no, I don't know. I just don't know. And then I think about it like this and stuff. If there's one thing that gives Canelo problems, it's movement. Movement
And speed.
and speed and speed. So there's one thing the Bud's got. He's got movement and he's got speed. He's got foot speed and he's got hand speed. So where does this my common sense tells me Canelo. My common sense tells me Canelo. His Canelo's just he's too comfortable at 168. It's in his wheelhouse. And I'm not saying that he will have an easy time with Crawford, but if Crawford's got to get inside to hit him and Canelo counters, then you know what's going to happen. So I'm going to take Crawford. Yeah. I'm going to take Crawford because of the movement. I think he's going to have a distinct advantage with the movement. I think it's going to give Canelo problems. I think Canelo's going to try to cut off the ring. I think Bud's going to fight in spurts. And I think Canelo has to worry about, vice versa this on to Bud. Who can steal the rounds? Can Canelo be busy enough for 12 if he's not, landing heavy shots? Can he give the perception that he's busy and stay busy? And if Bud is trying to avoid him, y'all, if Bud is trying to avoid him, he's not trying to get in a firefight. Can Bud step on the gas 12 rounds and be busy enough where he can take some rounds off and still be busy enough to beat Canelo? I say yes. So I'm going to take Bud in a closer fight than I think people think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close. And you can say this, y'all. You can say, can Bud win a close decision against Canelo in Vegas? I guess we will find out.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we will find out.
Yeah.
So give me Bud. I like that.
By that much, huh?
By that much. That's going to do it for this edition of Round 6. Thank you so much. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Leave your comments. We'll check them out. We'll read them. And join us next time for another thrilling edition of Round 6.